If you're excited about any of these things, you can join me in these next journeys I'll be taking over the next few months. So again, I'm filming this. I'm meeting y'all, connecting with y'all here at the end of April 2026. And this is really my plan over the rest of the spring 2026 through the summer 2026 and maybe even into fall 2026. So if any of you are on these journeys or are curious about these journeys, feel free to let me know in the chat of this video so that way I know that these are goals of yours too and we can stay connected as well. So number one, I want to let you all know we've been doing some really good work at Master Your Books. So we have been doing some transitions from the Master Your Books platform, which is my training platform, which I was using Thinkific primarily for all training. And then I was building a community in different platforms. I actually spent a couple of years testing different community platforms, and I have decided on Circle. So I've been on Circle now since summer of 2025. So summer 2025 is when I joined Circle, when I started bringing many of my community members on. And so primarily Circle was used mostly for the community, but in 2026, I'm now bringing all of my learning content as well. And so you're looking at my Circle community right now. And so let me just move this out of the way here. So in Circle, when you join Circle, you can actually join my community completely for free. I think any content creator out there or community leader should have an opportunity for you to be able to join their communities for free so you can get to know them better. And so, of course, I have that opportunity as well for you to connect with me for free. So if you join Circle, at first you get access to what I call the MYB Hub, the Master Your Books Hub. I give you a little bit of context on how you can navigate Circle here. So you can get to know Circle if you've never used this community before. It's becoming a more popular community, so many people are learning about Circle, are joining multiple Circle communities, so that's really great. And so the MYB Hub is where all of the free content is, and so you can go ahead and take a look at that. I also have an area called free resources. And so free resources is exactly that. It's everything that I'm going to give you for free, no pitches, no strings attached. It's just you being able to learn and connect and be part of my community completely for free. And I'm going to bring in resources that I think are helpful. I'm going to bring in experts that I think are just really mission driven and value first, meaning they're going to give you tons of value. And if you want to continue working alongside them or myself, you'll learn from these resources. So for example, I give you access to some of our goal getting content because we love business planning and goal getting here at Master Your Books. So I give you access to those free areas. I also give you access to some of the accounting lifecycle content. So I teach both the small business micro enterprise, and I also teach my accounting, bookkeeping, and tax community members. And one of the big topics we talk about on the accounting side is learning that accounting lifecycle and how to serve businesses year round with year round accounting services. And so I talk about the accounting lifecycle quite a bit. And it's part of several of my courses. It's part of Tax Ready Books. It's part of the Accounting Lifecycle course. It's part of the Accounting Lifecycle checklist. And it's also part of our Bookkeepers Accelerator, where it's based on the entire accounting lifecycle from beginning to end. So, of course, I want you to understand the accounting lifecycle and learn about the journey. And so that's, of course, completely for free. I also share a lot about tax ready books, the importance of having books so your financial statements ready year round, and how to go from zero to hero with your books, how to go from scratch, having nothing at all the way to populating your books, let's say for a month, for a quarter, for a whole year. And last year, I brought in two amazing experts, Kate Johnson and Alicia Katz, Pollock, because they're experts in software. So not only they're expert in building tax-ready books, they are experts in building tax-ready books in specific software. So I created this really cool series called Tax Ready Books with Tech, where you can go ahead and you can see Kate taking a file from scratch. By the way, this is the first time both Kate and Alicia ever did this publicly online. So it was really fun to see my own friends that are absolute experts in these softwares and in this training. They're educators as well and content creators, like actually getting uncomfortable and doing something from scratch. So they took files that had nothing in them. They proved it to you, zero data. And over an hour, they built out an entire year worth of data. Incredible, guys. Mind blowing to see somebody create something from absolute scratch. Kate did it. We're using FreshBooks because she is a FreshBooks expert. She is the person all for anything FreshBooks, go to her. Alicia Katz Pollock did it in QuickBooks Online because she is my go-to person for all things QuickBooks Online. And so this was tax ready books with tech, meaning with QuickBooks and with FreshBooks. I'm going to bring in a few more resources. I have a friend that's done this with Zero. So I'm going to bring her in so she can share with you how you can do this with Zero. And again, talking about what I'm really pumped about. I'm really pumped about Puzzle. I'm really pumped about Puzzle, the new general ledger system. It's several years. It's not completely new. It's been out for a couple of years. I have been following them. I've been following them and a few other AI generated general ledger systems that I'm really excited about. But I decided in 2026, I'm going all in on Puzzle. When I say all in, I mean I'm moving my own business. Master Books is moving off of QuickBooks and moving into Puzzle. Now, when I say moving off of QuickBooks, probably for this entire year in 2026, I'm probably going to be supporting both sides of the software. I'm going to have my master books both on QuickBooks and on Puzzle because I want to make sure I feel completely confident with Puzzle before I release QuickBooks altogether. But I will be having two concurrent data files all year round, and I'm going to see if I can completely move off of QuickBooks and onto Puzzle just because I want to support more businesses on Puzzle. And I think the best way to do that is to go all in and bring my business on there and then also bring other businesses on there. So by the end of this year, hopefully, this is going to include Zero and Puzzle as well in this special free series. Again, completely free. And the last series I want to mention is my mental health series. So I brought my dear friend Stephanie Clark. Her and I have done several collabs together with other women groups around mental health. She is a board certified psychiatric nurse. She's a therapist. And she's just an incredibly amazing soul that combines science and psychology and therapy and education all together into a really safe container to talk about mental health, which I think is so essential to our world that we're living in right now. You know, we talk a lot about our business health, our financial health, our professional development, but our mental health really is the umbrella to keep this all together. And so, huge gift from Stephanie Clark to be able to bring in her expertise into this conversation. Of course, I want to talk about this, but I also want to bring an expert that can talk about this from a education perspective as well, and also giving us skills. And so we've already had 2 sessions in 2026. She's one of my key partners in 2026 that I have been collaborating with. And so you will have access to these replays, all her resources. And now, just so you're aware, if you attend any of these type of live sessions, we do not record the live part of the discussion. That is private, that is safe. It gets completely deleted out. It does not go out to the universe because I want you all to feel very safe when we're talking about these type of topics. Also, again, if you want to go deeper into mental health, then you can engage with Stephanie or someone else that maybe Stephanie refers to or recommends. She also has a membership for these type of topics and learnings. And so all of that is in my master book community in a special area called the Mental Health Series with Stephanie Clark. So I just want to let you all know about that. Okay, so I told you there's a lot of good stuff here, so that's why I wanted to jump on. Okay, next, I wanted to so that's all free, guys. By the way, all of that was free. Also, when in doubt, if you click on the feed, you'll always know what's going on. I'll give you access to events coming up. I'll drop in my newsletters of things that I'm doing with my partners or things I'm doing for Master Book Community. Of course, some of these will be paid, some of these will be free. But when in doubt, if you're trying to just get in the know of what's going on with Master Book Community, you can click on the feed to get to know that. Now, collaborations. So here on the left-hand side, you can see I'm clicking on collaborations. These are trainings. These are workshops. These are live experiences that I'm doing with other partners because I'm a big believer and advocate here at Master Your Books that I don't want to do anything alone. I have such amazing humans in my sphere of influence, in my sphere of impact, people that are really impacting lives every day. And so I'm bringing them into my community so you can get to know them too, so that that way you can decide if you want to work with me, work with them, work with all of us. And so a good example of that was in the fall of 2025. I brought in four partners, four everyone. I did this awesome series called the Partner Workshop Series. It's now available for anyone to go ahead and purchase. I brought in Seth David, my dear friend Seth David of over decades. He talked about the importance of having a mind like water and being able to kind of calm our nerves down, calm our systems down, and be able to prioritize by creating organization in our business. I brought in Ana Calderon, another dear friend of mine. She talked about the importance of having, I loved her language. She called it industry fluency. So really understanding your industry. And in her case, she focuses on contractors, constructions. She niches even down to pavers and people that do tile work. And really using their language to speak directly to them and to be able to really go hyper focus in regards to their needs. So she covered that. Nadia Rodriguez, our beautiful CPA, that I say beautiful because when you hear her speak, she's so calm, she's so aligned with what she wants to teach, even though she's teaching tax and heavy tax. She breaks it down in a simple way where it feels lighter, it feels like an easier lift, and she covered some really good content around understanding our tax compliance areas, both as an accounting professional and as a business owner. She covered the OB3 Trump laws that changed in July of 2025 all the way through. It's going to be on for a couple of years. Some of this tax code applies to us over the next couple of years. So she went deep into that, and that was really helpful. And then Mike came in at the very end to go ahead and be my financial linguist. If you don't know Mike Milan already, he is just a powerhouse when it comes to breaking down financial literacy, financial language, financial statements, cash flow. That's why he's known as Cash Flow Mike. He breaks it down in plain words because he actually started as a serial entrepreneur. So he's opened over 10 plus businesses, I think, if not more than that. He teaches bankers, he teaches lenders, he teaches accountants, he teaches business advisors on how to speak more freely and more clearly and more plainly to the business owner so businesses could actually make decisions for their business on an everyday basis based on their numbers. But he really helps us to dissect that and to simplify it, right? Again, maybe call it dumbing it down. So I call it mic drops. He drops mic drops throughout every time you listen to him. He has a podcast. He has his own learning platform, and he came in to teach some really great content. So that was our partner series, everyone. And hands-on, one of the greatest experiences I've had in 2025. I had a lot going on in 2025, but that was just so magical because I got to sit back and really partake in the learning and really just see my friends shine. And so that's that partnership series. I took particularly the session from Mike, just so you understand why there's another one called Financial Mastery with Mike and Mariette. I took just the session with Mike and myself, and I pulled it out and made it into its own learning course because there are business owners or accountants that just want to do the financial literacy. Maybe they don't want to do the full workshop series. So I actually pulled out the financial literacy content, that financial language, that interpretation of financial statements, and that is its course all on its own. But if you want to take the full partnership series, so for example, if you're an accounting pro and you want to learn those 4 areas, which are systems, marketing, financial literacy, and taxes, I highly recommend you take the full partner series because that has everything in it. If you want to just go straight into the financial literacy and financial statements, I pulled that out for all of you since that was a request I got as well. Okay, I also have Accounting Lifecycle, everyone. Again, like I said, most, if not all of my frameworks, from the small business frameworks, tax ready books, solopreneur bookkeeping, my pay yourself calculator, my budget workshops, all the way to, of course, my accounting life cycle um, trainings and cohorts and boot camps related to accountants. All of that is built really on the accounting life cycle. That's really the motherboard. That's really what everything is based off of. That's the main framework that I build off of is accounting life cycle, the end-to-end accounting life cycle and tax ready books. And so what I did here is I actually did a really cool workshop in the beginning of 2026 where I shared with you all about the accounting life cycle, but I also shared with the importance of the fact that even though the accounting life cycle is happening year round, many times business owners and accountants are working on doing all of this work at year end. And so this was a special workshop for accounting professionals to go ahead and close the year end strong, knowing that they have to go through this life cycle and knowing that they have to close the year with the ultimate year end checklist, but also knowing that's all based on this life cycle concept. And so the ultimate year-end workshop is basically understanding the accounting life cycle in depth, doing some exercises to start getting that worked out. And then also I give you what I call the accounting life cycle checklist. So this is the checklist that previously I would only give it to my cohort members because it's a lot of kind of in-depth work to get to the point where you can use this very detailed, comprehensive year-round checklist with your clients. But I figured it's time to just give it to the world. And so everybody has access to it here in this course, the ultimate year-end workshop plus a year-round checklist. Now, I also, again, have had people that says, I'm not ready for the ultimate year end. I don't want to, go into those ultimate year end concepts yet. I also give you a lot of bonuses in that workshop. And so, but if you just only want the life cycle checklist, you're like, I just want the life cycle checklist. I don't want anything else right now. I just want to be laser focused and just focus on learning the checklist and completing the checklist for my clients here in 2026. If that's what you want to do, that's perfectly fine. Again, you have access to just get the checklist and nothing else if you want. And the last thing I wanted to share is that now, so that is an example of me moving over my content. So I'm going to start moving over the rest of my content over. I've already moved over the Solopreneur Reset. This is a course for solopreneurs that just really want to do a reset in their business, want to make sure their money in and money out is in order, want to make sure their bookkeeping is in order. They want to make sure they understand some key essential topics like paying themselves from the business, creating a budget. That's really your reset. So that's already here inside of our platform. The Pay Yourself Calculator, which is my high demand and much loved mini course, which is how to figure out how to pay yourself. So basically going through the learning on how to pay yourself and then having a done for you template that basically does it for you. So the template does it for you, but I want you to understand the concept first before you get into the calculator. That's available for you now too, the Pay Yourself Calculator plus the gross revenue model. So not only do you want to know how to pay yourself, but how am I going to earn that money? Like what are my best offers? What is my pricing? What are my product and services? So that way I can earn that $20,000, $30,000 a month, whatever that number is. That's what we learn here in the Pay Yourself Calculator. So that's already on the platform. And coming very soon in 2026, I'm going to bring over my Tax Ready Books course. And I'm also going to bring over my business planning course. All of that is going to live here on Master Your Book. So super excited about that. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Again, put comments in the chat and I can answer those questions for you. Okay, the last thing I wanted to share, now that we covered that, again, I wanted to share how I am super pumped about Puzzle. And so as you can see here, I wanted to prove it to you here. I am going to go all in on Puzzle. So I shared with you at the Tax Ready Books with Tech. I shared with you here in this free resource how we have QuickBooks so far. We have FreshBooks so far. Well, guess what's coming soon? Coming soon is Puzzle. So I am going to do all this work first, and then I am going to have a free workshop where I'm going to show you how to go from zero to hero and fill out all of your data and be able to use Puzzle and all of the cool features and functionalities in Puzzle. I'll also share the pricing of Puzzle, and I'll have a special deal for you, of course, as well for Puzzle. So I will go ahead and let you know when that's ready. That'll be closer to the fall of 2026. But if you are at Scaling New Heights, which is in Orlando, Florida in June, and you have any questions about Puzzle, or if you're curious about it and you're an accounting professional, feel free to stop me and ask me, because I can talk to you more about it, because by then I'll already be about a month and a half into this cool project I'm working on, where again, I'm starting from zero, nothing at all, and I'm bringing all of my data, and I'm going to be using it every day, all month long, all year round. And I will be doing some comparatives between Puzzle and QuickBooks, and I'm going to be very honest about what's still missing, what I wish it would have, and I'm also going to share what I'm happy about. And I'm going to tell you right now, what I'm really happy about is the fact that it's clean, and I don't have 100 things on my window, and I'm not getting sold to, and I'm not getting pushed at, and I'm not getting all these pop-ups, which honestly over the last few years have been incredibly overwhelming to deal with inside the other software. So I love the clean screen. Okay, last quickly updates is Launchpad. So y'all know that I talk a lot about Launchpad. This is a nonprofit organization that I'm part of. I'm part of their team, and my role there is helping with the education, the program curriculum, the continuous design of the program. And it's a completely free mentorship program where we provide financial literacy to small business owners, under-resourced entrepreneurs and small business owners. We provide them education, and then once you're ready, we also match make you with, we call a Launchpad mentor. So a Launchpad bookkeeping mentor that's going to serve you for 4 months completely for free. Completely for free, you're going to get Launchpad bookkeeping mentorship. The small business owner doesn't pay for anything, and they may even qualify at the end of this 4-month free mentorship for a small grant, a $500 grant. The mentor, which is the bookkeeper, actually gets paid $1,000, guys. Yes, we pay our mentors, even though they're doing really good work, and all our mentors are really coming in for the reason that they want to give back, but we still want to compensate them for their work. And so they'll get $1,000 when they're done with the 4-month mentorship with their mentee. So all of that is happening at Launchpad. I'll drop a few resources here for Launchpad for you to learn more. I also want to give a huge shout out to Kate Johnson. Again, a lot about Kate here. You may know her from the Side Hustle, the Bookkeeping Side Hustle group on Facebook and also on YouTube. She did a really cool interview with me back in the early 2026. I'll drop that link here as well, because we talked a lot about Launchpad, and I really loved how she was asking me questions about, how does this build your skills? How does this build your communication? How does this make me a stronger bookkeeper? Because of course her audience is bookkeepers. And so I really appreciated her questions, and I'll drop a link to that interview that we did together. And she's also a big advocate and a supporter of Launchpad. So thank you so much for that. Again, quickly, I'll be at Skilling New Heights, June 2026. So if any of my accounting and bookkeeping and tax professionals are going to be there, I'd love to see you there. So feel free to come to, well, let's say hi, let's hang out. I'll be there the whole time from June 14th to June 17th, Sunday to Wednesday. Sunday, I'll pretty much be heads down, be preparing, because I have my one session, which is from transaction to transformation. So I'm talking about soft leadership. I'm really excited about this idea of, really building our soft skills and our leadership skills from the inside out, building that ability to be a stronger leader, to be someone that people want to follow, especially in these times. I think that we need to go back to our roots, go back to our core beliefs, go back to our values, our personal values on what kind of leader we want to be, because soft leadership, which is that leadership that we build from the inside out, and we can either use that to lead ourselves, or we can use it to lead a team. It always starts here. It always starts from within. It starts from ourselves and the deeper work that we do first. So that way we can go ahead and serve others. And all accounting professionals, accountants, bookkeepers, tax professionals, business advisors, allies to our community, meaning those vendors and those partners and those technology companies, they are all leaders. They are all leaders as well. They are all in front of people, whether they're leading themselves or they're leading teams. We're all leaders. We connect with leaders. We're surrounded by leaders. So let's see if we are really aligning ourselves with what we believe is best for us to build our leadership skills, and then also to, again, to transfer those leadership skills to others, because it's a beautiful gift for you to mentor, for you to lead, for you to transfer this information, to transfer these skills, these good habits, to others. And so that's what we're talking about in my session, is this idea of going from being very transactional, which is very common in the accounting industry, to becoming more transformational. And by the way, everyone can be transformational. You don't have to be, this dynamic, world leading speaker on stage. A lot of us follow those people and they're great, but you don't need to be on the stage in front of thousands of people. You can lead yourself every single day with intention by building these skills. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm really excited about that. And then lastly, my friends, I always need to do a mention. I will be there at Scaling New Heights with my entire Accounting Cornerstone team. So hopefully you all know about Accounting Cornerstone Foundation. It is a nonprofit organization that I'm a part of. I'm a board member of them. And we send accounting, bookkeeping, and tax professionals that sometimes they're newer to the industry, but not necessarily, but they've never been to an in-person conference before. They've never been to a live in-person conference before. And so our mission at Accounting Cornerstone Foundation is to give a gift scholarship. And there is a process. There's an application process. There's a selection process, all the way to getting our winner. There is a process to actually become a winner, but it's completely free to you to go through the application process and to see if you qualify. And if you do qualify as a winner, then we will pay for you to attend your very first conference. We'll pay the transportation, we'll pay the airline, the ticket, and we'll buddy you with someone there at the conference. And if it's a conference that several board members go to, for example, Scaling New Heights in Orlando, Florida, several board members actually already attend that conference, because that is a conference that has transformed many of us as well over the years. I've been going since 2014. And so then we go ahead and we meet you in person and we support you throughout the entire experience. So I just want to make sure to always give a shout out to Accounting Cornerstone Foundation for the great work that they're doing, for the beautiful mission that I personally am aligned with, which is, we continue to give, and as we give, we continue to live and impact others. And I also want to give a huge shout out to our donors, to our sponsors, to our allies, to our loyal supporters. There are so many out there that talk about Accounting Cornerstone Foundation. There are many of you that donate, so really appreciate you donating to the organization. Some of you donate monetarily. Some of you donate by volunteering your time. Some of you, again, donate by just sharing, by going ahead and sharing about this organization. Thank you for doing that. It means so much to us here at Accounting Cornerstone Foundation. So I just wanted to, of course, give them a shout out, and give all of you a shout out that actually support us. With that being said, my friends, that is our big update. That is our officially quarter two 2026 update. Remember, you always have access to me completely for free in the Master Books community. So I hope to see you there. Bye, everyone.